Welcome to Gaia-Centric Live. So I'm here Monday at 5 every week. Let's see, I'm trying to get my video going. Perfect. Awesome. Here we go. I'm streaming in multiple places here. All right. So, today, I wanted to share a little bit about my story with Lyme disease and some things I used to help treat it holistically. And then I wanted to show you my tick prevention tonic that I've used to help me and my dog, and then how to make a tincture out of all these herbs. We're going to talk about a few of these herbs that can be used to treat Lyme's. We're also going to talk about this book from Stephen Buhner called Healing Lyme, and what's on topic for today for the Gaia-Centric Live. All right. So first, I want to share a little bit about my story. I know I shared a lot about my back issues I dealt with last time, and I've said in the past, I've dealt with chronic illness, chronic pain conditions. Well, one of the chronic illness things was contracting Lyme disease. Now, as you can see, I'm always in the woods. We're stationed in my apothecary today, so these are all different herbs that I've foraged for, and mushrooms and whatnot. These are a lot of my different Chinese herbal formulas that I work with clients, and different herbal tinctures that I've created, okay? So, and a lot of that is to be out in nature. So I'm going to encounter ticks. That's just the way it is, right? So, I said this on past lives, but some of the best things you can do to protect yourself is to always wear long pants and shoes. Like a simple thing, but it works amazingly to not get ticks. And you can always check yourself and wear. I even have this bug repellent clothing that works really good. I use my bug away spray, and just to be mindful. Even if you're out in the woods all the time, and you can do everything you can, you still are going to encounter ticks, and you may get a tick bite. Okay, that's something I experience almost every year, but I get it right away, and it's not an issue since I've been utilizing a lot of things that we're going to discuss today. Okay, so way back, to rewind, back a few years, I believe it was 2015, 2016. I forget exactly which year, but around there. We had just moved into the treehouse, my house here, pretty recently. So it was probably 2015. I definitely got a tick bite, and my foot swelled up to my toes were like red sausages, okay? And I was having joint pain in my knees, and like weird areas that I'd never experienced pain before. And I had a lot of fatigue, almost like flu-like symptoms, kind of feverish. I'd never experienced that before, unless it was like from a cold or a flu. So it was kind of weird. But yeah, and then we went and got blood work, and it confirmed that I came up Lyme positive. And so yeah, I went through, I remember it being a very uncomfortable week of my life. But I went immediately to my teacher, started blasting with Chinese herbs, and got a bunch of different treatment, and also in conjunction with some Western consultation, and I ended up being fine. I didn't have any issues, and I have not had any lingering issues since. So that's just a little bit of my story. I wanted to keep it kind of short, but just share with you some of what I've experienced, okay? So I have formulated this tincture through the help of some other herbalists. So through this guy, Stephen Buhner. If Lyme is something that you've experienced, or any of its infections, anything like that, I highly recommend you checking out this book. There's a lot of valuable information in here. Okay, so, and it does what it says, healing Lyme's, talking about herbs, healing with herbs, basically, okay? And he's got these core protocols, and he goes into talking about all the different co-infections and specific herbs, and it's pretty awesome. And so I adapted my tick prevention tonic here from a combination of information here and also this other herbalist that was creating a tincture for dogs to take instead of using the harmful chemicals, and I didn't want to use harmful chemicals on my dog, so I got a lot of the tips from her, and then I sprinkled a little bit of my own magic, like some reishi mushrooms. I'm sure you're not surprised about that, that those are in there, and some other Chinese herbs and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to go into some of these herbs. I'm also going to gear up, which is what I do when I'm making tinctures. Okay, those of you who don't know what a tincture is, a tincture is a way to preserve the medicine from herbs and mushrooms. So it's a way to extract it and be able to preserve it and utilize it. Okay, so traditional tincture is done with alcohol. That way it will actually last forever. But I like using vegetable glycerin. So see these glycerites, because alcohol doesn't agree with me, and this tastes much better. It tastes kind of sweet. Okay, so I'm going to run through some of these herbs here. So this first herb is actually what probably makes the tincture not taste so good. Okay, this is andrographis herb. Okay, it's a very bitter, cold herb. All right, but it's super incredible for helping with viruses and bacteria, and really helping to tame the spirochetes, which is something that happens with Lyme, the spirochetes flaring up, and they've done a lot of studies on the treatment of Lyme with andrographis, so you can look that up. Okay. Coincidentally, it actually helps to prevent pathogens externally from coming in as well. So, but this is to be treated on internal application. Okay. So since there's quite a few herbs here, I'm going to make a pretty big jar. I often will make my tinctures out of a jar this size, but since there's a lot to it here, I'm going to have that big jar. So the second herb is cat's claw, Eukarya. Okay. It's a great one. It's for the nervous system. Okay. It's helping to get into the brain, helping with the nerves. Because that's often what happens with Lyme, is they go and attack your brain. Okay, and that's the bacterial component, but then there's also a viral component. I actually wrote an article a few years ago in Natural Awakenings, Natural Mag, I forget which one, but about the viral component of Lyme. Okay, and that's basically how I've kept Lyme at bay, because I do a bunch of antiviral protocols for Medical Medium. You've seen me posting about it all the time. And I keep it at bay. So, because the virals and viruses are what are going to flare up Lyme from stress and trauma and things like that. Okay. So next herb, super important herb in this protocol, is Japanese knotweed root. Okay, and Japanese knotweed is an invasive that grows around here. You may see me harvesting it in the spring to eat its shoots. Tastes like rhubarb. She made a strawberry knotweed pie this year. But the root is incredible for the treatment of Lyme. So it's like basically knotweed. I would say knotweed and cat's claw are the top two herbs in this formulation as far as treating Lyme. So highly recommend checking that out, and also harvesting this medicine from the wild, because it is an invasive plant that is killing other native species. So you're actually doing nature a service by harvesting it. Okay, so you can see, because it's the root here, I'm actually breaking them up a little bit so the glycerin can get in there and extract the medicine. And most people like measure with these things, but because I've been making tinctures for so long, I just kind of eyeball it. But I try to do an even amount of each herb. Next we have licorice root. Okay? Licorice root is known as the harmonizer of all herbs in a herbal formula in Chinese medicine. That's why you'll often see it there. Okay? But it also has antiviral components and is really good for the immune system. Speaking of immune system, we got that chief herb for the immune right here, astragalus root, Huang Qi. Okay? It's incredible for the Wei Qi of the body. Helping to tonify. It's the number one herb to tonify the immune system. Great spleen tonic, which is often what you need. Treating Lyme, you need to repair and build back up because you're then literally invaded. Alright? So you need herbs to support you in that process. Next herb, stinging nettles, the great nervine. Very anti-inflammatory, antiviral. It's filled with so many phytonutrients that actually can smell like sea algae. Okay? That's how strong it is with chlorophyll. It's the exact opposite of ghost pipe. I have the lovely reishi mushroom for its immune boosting properties, among other things, also helping to purify blood. We talked a little bit about that a couple weeks ago, about reishi, the blood purifying aspect here as it pertains to Lyme, because it will often attack your white blood cell count, red blood cell count. So this is going to help build it back up. I like to add a good amount of reishi. It also tastes pretty good, but it also is harder to extract in medicine from reishi. So I sometimes put extra so you make sure you're able to extract it once I put it into my machine. The last herb today, sweet chamomile. Instead of sweet Caroline, we got sweet chamomile. Also great for her nervine, helping with the nervous system properties there. Literally calming the nerves. She tastes really good too. She's good herb all around. Have a hard time sleeping. Ask chamomile to help you out. Great for insomnia too. Okay, so that's what I got today. I sometimes have a couple other herbs, but I am out of them at the moment. So that's what's going to be in the formulation for today. So we had Andrographis herb, and we had a little bit of cat's claw, and we had Japanese knotweed, licorice root, astragalus root, reishi mushroom, nettle leaf, and chamomile. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wonderful vegetable glycerin. I'm going to cover it as best we can here. Okay. And then have some fun. Shake it up. Shake it like a Polaroid picture, right? Shake it, shake it. Because we really want to make sure It's spread all the way through, so we gotta add some more. And then we're gonna add a little bit of water because as far as the glycerin goes, it's not gonna really spread all the way through without that water. There we go. A little bit more. Water helps to really spread it a little bit, but you can't add too much, so it'll get funky. You don't want that. So, this is my tincture. I'm gonna let this sit for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm gonna shake it up as much as I can so that medicine can seep out from the herbs here. And then I'm gonna put it in my lovely machine. It's gonna pulverize it and extract more medicine out of it. And then I will strain it and put it into my lovely little bottles and put a label on it, and then I'll be ready to go. So you can see the final product here. See, it's pretty strong, right? All those herbs, but that's what you need. You need that strength to combat the Lyme. So there you have it. This is my herbal tincture, Lyme disease. Shared a little bit about my story, some of the things I've done. There's obviously a lot more things that you can do. It can be helpful. Cupping's really helpful. Basically anything that's really good for the immune system and any antiviral things that you can do is what's going to be the most beneficial. So eating a lot of fruits and veggies, stuff like that. Maybe doing some things like qigong would be beneficial as well. I'm going to put a fermenting weight on here so this stuff can stay down. That's how it will be. So thank you for joining me on the Guy-Centric Live at 5, where we'll be talking about a lot of things, topics that I'm focusing on in the Guy-Centric Living membership. If you're interested in joining the membership, send me a direct message and I can put you on the wait list for the next time that I open it up. And I'll be doing some more info about what I offer with my monthly membership, and so you'll hear more about that for sure. So, but I'm glad I came on today to share all this with you all, and if you have any questions at all, definitely message me. And until next time, be back next week, next Monday, live at 5. Be well, everyone.